Hey, it is Andy with the FensePost indie music and vinyl blog, and I've been going on a bit of a binge of shoegaze of late, and that's included picking up some elusive albums from the original shoegaze era. I already have the three that seem to top literally everyone's list. 1, Loveless by My Bloody Valentine. 2, Souvlaki by Slowdive. And 3, Nowhere by Ride. Today I'm going to look at an album that tends to be in the top 5 and a relatively new add to my collection. The Comforts of Madness is the debut album by the British shoegaze band Pale Saints. Released in 1990, the album received quite a bit of critical acclaim upon its release and has since become a bit of a cornerstone in early shoegaze, influencing countless other shoegaze, dream pop, and indie bands that followed. What you get within this album is dreamy, atmospheric soundscapes heavy with guitar reverb and some ethereal vocals. The album has been compared to, well, the works of other similar early shoegaze acts like, no surprise, My Bloody Valentine, Slowdive, which I've already mentioned, and the band Lush. Pale Saints consisted of Ian Masters on vocals and bass, Chris Cooper on drums, and Graham Naismith on guitar. Masters' vocals are soft and dreamy, while Cooper's percussion provides a driving and rhythmic foundation to the sound. Naismith's guitar is lush and atmospheric, and all of this kind of creates this sonic landscape that is both ethereal and kind of grounding at the same time. The LP preceded a number of other notable releases by Pale Saints, including Ribbons from 1992 and Slow Buildings from 1994, before the band's eventual hiatus in 96. It also preceded the band's 1991 compilation of early singles titled Miss Dolphin, which was only released on CD up until 2020 when they finally gave it a vinyl pressing. Pitchfork notes, and I quote, "The Comforts of Madness established Pale Saints as one of the leading lights of the shoegaze movement." The review highlights some of the album's more notable tracks, stating that, once again, quote, "The dreamy The Way the World Is and the shimmering Sea of Sound showcase the band's ability to create dreamy, otherworldly soundscape." Other highlights on The Comfort of Madness include one of my favorites, You Tear the World in Two, with its mesmerizing guitar work and taunting vocals. It happens to be one of my favorite on the album. Perhaps the most notable track, though, is the single Sight of You, which showcases the band's ability to really create that atmospheric and layered soundscape. They inject it, though, with these true pop sensibilities. Other favorites of mine include Time Thief, which kind of goes back and forth between like this pulsating, anxious beat and then this just overwhelming sound, and Little Hammer, which kind of takes things down a notch and makes it a little bit more melodic. At times you can almost hear the influence of other 1980s indie rock artists on the album. In A Deep Sleep for Steven, for example, I feel like I can pinpoint elements that would have kind of sounded at home on the jangly early albums by the Feelies. The Comforts of Madness is really a landmark shoegaze LP that cemented Pale Saints as one of the more innovative and influential bands of the movement, one that really helped define the shoegaze sound and give it legs. The impact can be felt today, and it remains a must-listen for fans of shoegaze, dream pop, and, well, the blanket genre of alt. A review on Sputnik Music comments on the album's production, stating that, quote, "The production is top-notch with a clean and crisp sound that is perfect for the dreamy vocals and atmospheric instrumentation," end quote. Let's take a look at the different versions of the album from the past 30 years. The Comforts of Madness was originally released in 1990. And that year, it received a variety of vinyl pressings throughout Europe and the world, including countries like the UK, obviously, Belgium, Germany, France, Spain, and Canada. It was also released in many of these countries on CD and cassette. Most of these versions appeared on 4AD, though a few other labels do make an appearance here or there. It was originally remastered for re-release in 2011. This came on two different pressings, one black and one on silver. And it was the first time the album had been released in the United States. That brings us to this copy, which was released in early 2020, the 30th anniversary pressing. There are three variants, a CD version, a limited special edition on clear vinyl, and this, the standard black vinyl pressing. Let's take a look at my copy. The album art goes down as perhaps one of my favorite albums with a cat on the cover, and I love how that cover looks. It's a bit abstract, and I love the play on color. The back has a unique approach to displaying the track listing, which ultimately continues on the printed inner sleeve, which you see here. And that continues on both sides of that sleeve as well. I absolutely love this album. I've become obsessed with it over the last several months, and it's truly becoming one of my favorites of the shoegaze movement, potentially even surpassing one or two of those other three albums mentioned earlier. Those being My Bloody Valentine, Slow Dive, and Ride. One of these days, I'll probably do a Andy's top picks of the shoegaze movement and count down my favorite albums from the subgenre. Until then, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you next time.